talking about. Welcome to Zebra Studio, by the way. Guess what? Corruption. I know you don't want to hear it. I know you're tired of hearing it. But guys, we can do something. I believe we can do something. Right. I've been looking at some things and doing a bit of reading about corruption. And there's a man that I came across. Very interesting man. He said he used to work in Kenya. He worked in Kenya. I think he worked for the World Bank. And what he says is that on TED Talk, by the way, he says some of the world's most baffling social problems can be traced to systematic, perversive government corruption. And he goes on to talk about how he actually started an NGO to try and tackle corruption and how he was actually stopped. The most interesting thing that he says is that when he started to tackle that, the World Bank was like, you don't do that, because all the African countries this is what they do, they bribe. It's their culture. You cannot do business with them unless you bribe. So all along, our leaders have been doing this to us. And I'm not saying I'm a victim, but all I'm trying to do on this show is to make you guys aware, not only aware, but to talk about these things, to talk about corruption, to spell it out, to call it as stealing, not to be afraid. Especially those who, I understand that the people cannot talk because obviously whatsoever, perhaps the king is just around the corner and he's got a gun and he's going to kill you and take your job whatsoever. But if you can talk, you might as well talk, because this is the attitude that most people have. This is the attitude most Africans have. They say, if you're poor, you're stupid. That's the attitude. That's what they think. And if you're corrupt, you're stupid. And if you have a nice position, you have a nice job, a very good position, perhaps you're a minister of finance or minister of agriculture, whatever it is, and you don't make proper use of that. You just don't make the most of it. Perhaps, in other words, if you don't steal, if you don't take bribes, if you don't use that opportunity as much as you can to grab what you can and put everything in the can and store everything for yourselves and give those you want to give positions to. So that's the attitude that Africans have. And that's really, really sad. So if you're a parent and you have kids, this is how your kids are going to live. They will watch the rich live a very lavish life, take 50 wives, have 20 kids who will go about, the 20 kids will have another 20. And you tell me, okay, if a person has 20 kids, they have 20 kids. You tell me, they keep expanding, they keep growing. They all depend on your money. They all depend on the economy of the country. Yet they don't work. They get all the tenders, they get all the contracts, they start all the charities and start bringing in money. Guys, corruption, stealing is very, very bad. It is basically, it's an epidemic. It is crazy.
I saw not only one project like that, I would say over the years I worked in Africa, I saw hundreds of projects like this. And so I became convinced that it is this systematic corruption which is perverting economic policy making in these countries, which is the main reason for the misery, for the poverty, for the conflicts, for the violence, for the desperation in many of these countries. That we have today more than 1 billion people below the absolute poverty line, that we have more than 1 billion people without proper drinking water in the world. Twice that number, more than 2 billion people without sanitation and so on. And the consequent illnesses of mothers and children. Still child mortality of more than 10 million people every year.
Tell me what you think about the clip, all right? It's not funny, I know, I shouldn't be laughing. Don't forget to like and to share and to subscribe. and tell me what you think. I have been affected, and I believe that every African person has been affected by corruption. Every person has been affected by corruption. Not all of them. Not the kings and the politicians' kids. Not those. Not the leaders. Not them. I'm talking about the people there. The real people. Not those ones. Right. Bye-bye.